Hey guys, welcome back. In this video we're going to look over the last question on the exam, question number 12. A water glass can be modeled by a truncated right cone, which is a cone which is cut parallel to its base, as shown below. So here's the cup and here's the truncated cone. The diameter of the top of the glass is 3 inches. So the diameter is 3 and the diameter of the bottom of the glass is 2 inches. So, maybe I should label it over here, 2 and 3. And the height of the glass is 5 inches. Okay, the base with a diameter of 2 inches must be parallel to the base with a diameter of 3 inches in order to find the height of the cone. Explain why. Okay, so here we have to say that in order to find the height of the cone, we're going to have to say that this triangle, and you can label it. Let's label it A, B, C. Okay, that the triangle ABC has to be similar to triangle ABC, D, E. It has to be similar to the triangle DEC. Okay, and if these two triangles have to be similar, then that means that the angle ABC and angle DEC have to be congruent. And if these two angles are congruent, then that means that these two sides are parallel, that these two lines are parallel. Okay, so let's write that down. So in order to find the height of the cone, we will need to set up a proportion using triangle ABC and triangle DEC. If we will set up a proportion, that means that triangle ABC is similar to triangle DEC. Since triangle ABC is similar to triangle DEC, angle ABC is congruent to angle DEC because they are angles in those two triangles. Since these corresponding angles are congruent, DE is parallel to AB, which means that the bases are parallel also. Okay, if you want, you can pause the video to read through it and to make sense of it, but hopefully it makes sense. Okay, you can also use something like the fact that they said over here that a cone which is cut parallel to its base. So you can write something that references that the bottom base was actually cut parallel to the top base. So as mentioned at the beginning of the problem, you can say something like that too. Okay, so that's the first part. I'm gonna call it part A. Okay, second part. Determine and state in inches the height of the larger cone. Okay, so let's do that. So here we know that the diameter of the top of the glass is 3 inches, so the radius will be half of that. It's going to be 1.5 inches. The bottom of the glass is 2 inches in diameter, so the radius is only 1 inch. The height of the glass is 5, so we're going to label that 5. And now they're asking you for the total length of the cone, of the height of the cone. So we still need to figure out this unknown part. Okay, so let's set up a proportion. Okay, for part B. So here, we know that these are the right triangles. So let's say that the proportion will be the short leg over the long leg, and that's going to equal short leg over the long leg. Okay. So now maybe here let's look at the small triangle. So this small triangle. So the short leg is 1 and the long leg is x, and that's the hypotenuse, right? That's the hypotenuse, but we don't need to use the hypotenuse. We're just going to do short leg over the long leg, and then that's going to equal to the short leg over the long leg in the big triangle. So the short leg is 1.5 and the long leg is this whole thing from E to C, so that's going to be 5 and x. So when you add 5 and x, you get 5 plus x. So it's going to be 5 plus x. And then you just need to cross multiply, so this gives you 1.5x. When you multiply 5 plus x times 1, it's just going to be 5 plus x. Okay, and now we need to solve this equation, so let's get rid of this x by subtracting x, subtract x. Okay, so now 1.5x minus 1x is just going to be 0.5x equals to 5, and you need to get x by itself, so you can divide by 0.5, let's say. X equals 5 divided by 0.5. If that's a little tricky to you, just use a calculator. 5 divided by a half is 10. So x equals 10. And now you might be tempted to just say that the answer to part B is 10, but it isn't, because notice that x represents the length from B to C. They're asking about determine and state in inches the height of the larger cone. So this is the whole cone they're talking about. So this is 5, this is 10, so the height will be 5 plus 10. It's going to be 15. So the height the height of the larger cone is 15. Okay, so that's your answer to part B. And now part C. Determine and state to the nearest tenth of a cubic inch the volume of the water glass. So in order to find the volume of the glass, we need to find the volume of the whole cone, and then we need to take away that smaller cone at the bottom. So we're going to find the volume of the whole cone minus the and take away the smaller cone from the bottom. So the volume of a cone is 1/3 pi r squared h. Okay, so let's find that for the large cone. Okay, so for the large cone and for the small cone. The large cone, we got 1/3 pi r squared h. Okay, 1/3 pi r squared h. Okay, in the larger cone, the radius is 1.5. Okay, and in the larger cone, the height is the total height, which is 15. Okay, so we've got 15. Okay, so you know what? Let's just put it in a calculator. So we've got 1/3 pi, then you got 1.5 squared times 15. So we just put it in the way we wrote it. The only difference is that 1/3, that's a fraction, so you should put that in parentheses when you put it in a calculator. Okay, press enter, and what do we get? We get 3, 5. Okay, so this is the volume of the larger cone. Now the smaller cone, let's fill in the radius and the height. So in the smaller cone, the radius is 1, and the height is 10. Okay. So we're gonna put in the same thing. 1/3 pi 1 squared 10. Okay, and we get the volume is this. Okay, cubic inches. And now all we have to do is we have to take the total volume and we have to subtract the volume of the lower cone. So let's just put that in. And notice that I'm putting in the whole number that I see in the calculator, because we really want to round all the way at the end of the problem. So don't round at the beginning, you should round at the end. Okay, so here the volume of the cup is 24.87094184 cubic inches. To the nearest tenth, it says over here, to the nearest tenth of a cubic inch. Nearest tenth is just one decimal place, so let's look at a calculator. We're just going to need one decimal place. So you want to say 24.8, but see what's after the 8. After the 8, you have 7. So since you have 7, we're going to have to bump it up to 24.9. We have to round up. So 24.9 inches cubic. Okay, and you want to, box your answer in at the end. The actual answer, the final answer, not really the calculation before it. Okay? Although on the Regents, as long as the correct answer is anywhere on the sheet, you're gonna get the full points. They don't care about the boxing or anything like that. They just care that the correct answer is somewhere on the paper. Okay, that's it for this video. Hopefully this was somewhat helpful, at least. Let me know if you have more questions. Thanks for watching. Bye.